So I believe that there's multiple people out there to fit your life.
Better believe it. I'm ready.
You ready? She's ready, y'all. She's
Not yet.
ready.
Not yet. Give me a little bit longer. I'm working on
ready.
it. My change is coming.
Change is coming. Change is coming. Well, we are actually have gotten through for the first time on any show all the questions that we had listed. So I'll open it up if anybody wants to just ask another question while we're on the dialogue that we did not cover, that you have a burning question that you want to ask or something that you want to throw out there to talk about.
Question for the men.
I'm thinking. You know I'm thinking. I want to ask these young men. Yeah, so back to this ghosting thing. It really grinds my gears. I need...
She said grinds my gears. I'm with you. It grinds mine too. Chase.
I
I'm
need
with you.
men to just be more honest. Like, okay, so y'all, so I'm going through a divorce. It's 2 years, right?
Right.
So I have never not met anybody and told them that I was not going through divorce, right? So I'm going through divorce. It's not final. We ain't been together. I'm Gucci. Like, I just try to keep it super honest.
I'm gonna talk to you about that, but go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you because
And disclaimer: she knows she shouldn't have been dating going through a divorce.
because if
I
a
just
brother
learned-
if a brother says that he's going through a divorce, oh man,
I wouldn't date him.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
but there's some women
I
that
wouldn't even
do.
date
Exactly.
him. I'm
There
gonna
are
be
some
honest.
that do, but
Yeah.
you get
I
a
wouldn't
bad
date.
stigma.
I would not date a man that was going through a divorce, and I'm a woman that's going through a divorce. It's weird, but in going through this process, y'all, I've just learned so much, and I've learned the most from people who would not date me when I'm honest with them, and I'm so grateful for those men that said, you know what, baby girl, you need to heal, or I need you to, you still legally married. So I know y'all don't live together. So those, and they gave me hope in men because I was like fighting them off. Like, I know I'm a catch, right? But you might not know. You might not know. No, I'm just playing. But no, you know when you got what you got. You know, you don't have to like put it on a billboard or anything. But for people that were so willing to date me, there was a time where I was in a bad space. And yes, let's go out, let's do this, let's do that, let's travel, whatever. I was there. And it wasn't a bad place. It was just transition. I didn't know how to be single, separated, whatever I was, not divorced.
Because you were married for 16?
17 years.
17,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
And I got married at 21.
Yeah.
So I was a kid. That's what I'm saying. This dating thing threw me completely off.
Right.
So I'm like, as long as I'm honest, I let everybody, I let whoever know that. I say everybody, y'all. I'm not choosing like that. You hear me? I did have a roster. I ain't gonna lie. The roster was loaded.
So you said your question to circle back
him.
around to your
Oh, sorry,
question.
y'all. I got ADHD.
Yeah.
Carrie,
I have ADHD as well. So
just to bring it back around.
I'm just bringing it back around because why can't men just be honest? I think I know the answer, but I just want to hear a man say it. Why can't you be honest? Not you.
Yeah.
But you know.
Because I'm going to tell you.
When it comes to, like, if you're just
Except for the
dating or you
ghosting
just met somebody, like, why would you feel comfortable with just not saying anything and just letting it wither away instead of just saying, I don't want a relationship?
I ain't interested.
A lot of men,
interested.
a lot of men fear what will happen next when you say that. You know what I mean? Like, men hate rejection as you know, as a lot of people don't know, but men hate rejection. So if you say that you are, you know, you got somebody or whatever, you tell the truth, the ball's it's in your court for you to do with what you please, you know, from there. And a lot of men don't like that because they don't know where it's going to go. You know what I mean? That's one thing I can think of, but I don't really have that, you know.
Or is it what I know to be true?
Okay.
That you feel like you're going to lose out on potential, just having that potential chick on your roster.
Could
to
be.
go back to.
Could be. I mean, here's the thing. you at this table is 4 women to 1 black. We're not talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 black women to 1 man. I mean, the way I see it, the odds is in my favor. But a lot of people don't look at that, or a lot of men don't know that. But that could be. That could be.
Makes sense. Thanks for that, Carrie.
Yeah.
DJ, you have any thoughts on why men ghost? Is that what the question was?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of times we just don't want to deal with the drama, and you know, if you've had enough experiences, you know, when I had this conversation with this woman, it's going to be over the top. It's going to be more than what it needs to be, and if you go through that enough times.
What do you mean over the top and more than what it needs to be? What does that mean?
I mean, you can be talking to a woman for
right.
2.5 weeks. You know, look, I don't think this is working out. And she'll still flip out on you, you know what I'm saying?
Really?
She'll still be in her feelings, you know, talk bad about you, talk bad about your mama, you know what I mean?
That's why you got to ghost early if you're going to do it. Don't do it.
It's kind of like a song on the radio. Instead of interrupting the groove, just let the song fade out because another one going to come up. You know?
Agree. I like that. I like that analogy.
To be a man.
One thing I want to talk about that I didn't get to is about DJ's comment about meeting women in certain places and not using social media. Now, with me, I'm very calculated. So let's say I go somewhere or something like that, and I see a lady I'm interested in. I'm going to watch you for most of the night just to see how you move, just to see if I'm going to waste my time.
It's part of the hunt.
It's a part of the hunt. The lion always calculates everything. Okay, it's this far away. I need to run this far to get there, but very calculated with that. And it may, you know, I may see something in that time period before I actually take action to run to my prey. You know what I mean?
Where you going? Like, what if you you at a museum or you at a club? Because those are 2 different.
Right,
you might get a totally different woman in both of those spots now.
Correct.
Church.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it just really depends. I just got to see. And me personally, I have not taken my shot certain times because I'm, you know, still calculating in my mind on how's this about to. Yeah. So that has happened, but that's just me. That I'm very calculated with a lot of things. So yeah.
Makes sense.
Natalie, any burning questions that you want to ask our men before we wrap up?
You can ask the women too if you have any burning questions.
Right. That's true. I don't know. Okay. In dating, if you're dating a woman and she gives it up too easy to you, where does that play? Yeah. What you grade? Where does that place? Where in y'all's head? Where does that place her?
So,
like, is she not relationship material?
Is she not relationship material? Or like where do you categorize her? Because she may have given it up to, maybe she likes you and she wanted to give you the cookies.
Go a couple ways.
It's her.
couple.
Who run the world?
Because she wanted to.
Yeah, agree. A couple things to that though, but quoting the great Tupac, hate to sound sleazy, but
That's what.
I only have to be.
Yeah.
But me being older, me being 33, and I like older women. I've come across that. I don't judge. I've learned not to judge based on that, and a lot of people do. But you know, a lot of people think that if you give it up too soon, you're labeled as a hoe, or if you give it up too late, you may be married. That's not the case either way.
Yeah.
But as you grow older and you figure out that really doesn't necessarily place you in either category for me. But I like initiative, so that's okay. She takes initiative, but I don't judge. I don't judge. She knows what she wants.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like that. I love initiative and a go getter. So I don't judge, but yeah, a lot of people still have that mindset where they judge.
For myself, it's really a no, because I've had relationships where we waited and we had a cool relationship, but I've also had relationships where you know, I stabbed the first night, and we had a good relationship. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I'm sorry. It's just how I talk. But you know, the same thing. I've had bad relationships with women who waited too. So I mean, I don't really think that's a deal breaker. Now I will say that at one point in time, I viewed it differently in my life when I was younger. For the simple fact, I was more concerned with how other people viewed me. And so I didn't want the homies. I didn't want, you know, people that knew her or whatever to know, okay, well, you're going to make into a housewife. You know what I mean? And so I considered that a lot more. And so it was important, you know, oh, man, well, if she gave it up the first night, I know what the play is, but I don't want my homies feeling like, oh, he done went and wiped her up, he done booed her up. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Because that's just the young man's thinking, because he's thinking, well, if my homie finds out and I know that so-and-so smashed and so-and-so smashed, and everybody going to look at me like I'm the fool. Right. But as an older man and having experienced both sides and positives and negatives in both situations, it's just kind of how our energy works. If our energy works and it happens and it goes down the first night, it doesn't disqualify anything. If our energy works out and it takes us, you know, 3-4 months or however long, you know what I mean? It just kind of depends on that special connection we have, but it doesn't disqualify anything, especially as I look back on life as a 40-year-old.
Why can't we as women just take our power back? I mean, why does it have to be how they view us, and why can't it be about, this is, as a woman, this is what I chose to do? Right. Because what does it say about the man who sleeps with you on the first night? Right. We don't ask that question. Yeah, we don't flip it around and say, is he a hoe?
Right.
That's true.
And he's going around sleeping with everybody the first night, and he trying to sleep with me raw dog. We don't ask those questions. Definitely, but the reality of it is I just was in that moment, and I wanted to sleep with you. Yeah. Like you wanted to sleep with me.
Absolutely. We grown.
It doesn't degrade who you are as a person. I've grown.
Yeah.
I used to feel like, oh, I'm gonna be able. I'm like, no, it's about me. It's not about what that person is. It's about how I chose to act in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Tia, you want to add anything?
No, I think you guys have summed it all up.
I don't believe you.
Right.
You don't?
I think you want to say something.
Yeah, I got one.
So do I want to say something about tell me again.
About the having sex on the first night.
Yeah.
The man devalue you and you.
I mean, I think it depends on the man. I do. Mm-hmm. I think that, like, to your point and your point, I think back in the day, maybe when you were younger, you may have thought that. I really do think it depends on the man and what he thinks about, you know, really what his motives were in the first place, first off, which as a woman, I may not know. I'll know over time with experience. So it depends on what he's thinking. Then the other piece, to your point, Sassy, is that as women, if you really, truly, that's what you want, and there's nothing behind that, like if I do that, that means he's going to like me more, or he's going to stick around. As long as your action is without the intent, you're clear on it, for real, then I think you do what you want to do. There are no rules. There are no time frames as long as you are clear. But if you playing a mental game and you think, you think I'm going to do this because I want to keep him close, then you going to get your feelings hurt. Period.
Every time.
Dot.
Yep.
So
great answer.
I knew you had something to
add.
Thank
you.
Great answer.
Hey, we needed it.
Great answer.
I try to hold back.
No, you got to share your thoughts. That's what it's about. Everybody share their thoughts and feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, on this show we go there.
I know,
go
but
there.
I'm just saying, you know, I go there. I was just like, okay, here I go. Let me dump it on y'all.
Yeah, I mean,
that's real.
That's real talk. I mean, I think everybody's perspective brings something different to the table. You know, and as us sit behind the mic, you know, us sharing brings a different perspective as well with the guests, and y'all bring a different perspective, and it just all meshes together. I always say that on the show, it's like we're having a conversation.
Absolutely.
And we've invited people to have that conversation with us.
Right.
Let's go there.
Dating is a good one, and it's going to always be a hot topic because it just goes on forever because there's really no clear answer. Like, we can just gauge from each other like certain ways to move, but there's never really a clear
not black and white.
It's never.
It's that gray area.
It's always going to evolve as well as technology evolves. You know, the being able to reach, you know, the opposite sex. You know, that's going to change. You know, social media whatever has changed it. So whatever the next step is, it's gonna change dating as well. So yeah.
And in dating, my last little point. I promise I'm gonna be quiet. It seems I am goofy, but I'm really
you are
deep.
not goofy.
I'm deep, y'all. I really am. Don't get it twisted. No, I'm just playing. No, but if we in dating, if we just allow